not too well.
Yeah, really.
Crap! I'm like, oh crap.
For the most part, it's rare that I have one large job and another large job at the same time. The only time that ever happens is when I'm, like last year when I was producing the album, I didn't have any translation work come in, which was really lucky for me in a way, even though I wasn't making money off the album where I didn't make money off the translation. But it worked for me that didn't happen. If it would have happened, I don't really know what I would have done. I just would never have slept for like 2 weeks or something. But I'm lucky in that sense that there's no office that I go into. I don't have like a regular gig where I do that. I mean, I have school, but that's kind of its own thing. I can do that and do my artwork at the same time. So when I was in Japan and I would have that kind of stuff, when I would have some kind of consulting job come in at the same time I was working on a show, I would just do the same. I would just do them both at the same time. I would just stay up and push myself and push myself and push myself. And that kind of ended up not so good. Really, I kind of broke myself a couple times. So I don't suggest that. You just have to be good. You have to leave it.
People that are in my life that know me well know that I burn the candle at both ends an awful lot. If I may, in the last 7 days, last week, I went last Monday I flew to LA and did some voice acting out there, and then I flew from LA to London. And I was at a convention. I was at a convention in London, okay? I got back from London and I went straight back to LA and I recorded Bleach. And then I went straight back here, got back to Houston from LA Tuesday night, and Wednesday morning was at ADV at 9 o'clock and recorded until 5 p.m. And then I went home and fell down somewhere.
Just tired with his eyes closed for a while.
And then yesterday I got up and went to ADV again at 9 a.m. and recorded until 5. Which you don't do typically, by the way. This is my point. My point is that most voice acting sessions are no more than 3 hours because you just kind of get punchy and your voice kind of goes. But there was a show. This is my point. It needed to be done, and I was coming here Thursday for the con, and they bought my ticket. I was already committed months ago, but suddenly there was this show that ADV was doing, and it had to be done before the week was out. So my only option was record 8-9 hours straight, 2 days in a row. Fortunately, it wasn't a crazy screaming kind of character. Because exactly. You're like, forget this. I'm
you
dead.
come in today, hello everybody.
Yeah,
writing notes.
It needs more pads on the second floor. It needs more notepads. But you just do what you have to do, you know. You try your best to keep the balls in the air. And, you don't want anybody to feel like their project is secondary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the best way to lose a project.
Best way to lose a client.
Exactly. Is for them to think that, well, I'll get to your thing as soon as I finish these other things. Everyone needs to feel like their project is at the top of your priority list. And so, you do your best to make that happen. I have found, and I think this may be a good place to comment on, I was thinking as I was coming up here about this panel, and I thought one of the things about multitasking is that oftentimes everything that you're doing gets 75% of your attention, but nothing ever gets your full attention. So you become what we always remember hearing as a jack of all trades, master of none. You think, if I could have just done this, it would have been amazing. But I had to do this and this at the same time. And so everything gets done, and it gets done well, but in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, oh, I wish I could have focused on that just a little bit more. But that's one of the necessary evils of doing several things at the same time. And because we are kind of contracted, independent, self-employed people who never know where the next job is coming from, you can't afford to say, no, I'm too busy.
Yeah.
You can't afford to say, no, I can't do that. Because you don't know when the next time somebody's going to ask you to do something. So you try your best to take it on and accomplish as much as you can at the same time.
At the same time,
Go ahead.
Just 1 second. At the same time, when you take those jobs on, before you take them on, you have to be very, very careful to not. It's very easy to take on so many jobs that you can never finish them, and you go, yes, I need that, yes, I need that, yes. Especially when you're first starting out, you're like, yes, okay, I'll do it, and then you realize, oh God, and then one of them is going to have to suffer. And at some point you have to learn to say no, which is extremely difficult. You have to learn, like for instance, there was somebody offered me a translation on a video game, but the schedule was so short, I would have had to stop doing everything else in my life. I mean, absolutely everything else in my life for 3 weeks, and I couldn't afford that. I would have lost so much other stuff. And even though I wanted the money from that game, because it was big money, I had to say no to them. And I told them why, and they actually, what was really cool about them is they said, you know, you're the first person who hasn't just taken on the job and said you couldn't do it. We respect that, and then they gave me another job later. So it did work out.
There you go.
Sorry, back to your question.
Okay, like during the school year, I have to juggle doing homework, studying for tests, my plushie making business, doing art, and stuff like that. So how do you time manage like that? Sometimes I break down cars, like, I can't do it. I need sleep. I have school. So any time managing tips?
Write it down. Write it down. Get yourself a schedule, a schedule book, or you know, if you work better with a computer, if you work better with a schedule book, whatever's good for you. And once you get into a schedule, once you set that schedule, then it makes life so much easier. If you say, okay, this is the time, this is my 2 hours for art, and you do it every day, you'll be more creative in that 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Like, look ahead. Like, if I think, like, there are a couple of projects I want to do right now for, like, personal things. Nobody's paying me for them. They're things that I thought, I want to do this. They'll never get done if I just kind of wait for a time to do them, to show up, because it will never show up. I'll just fill the time up with something else. So what I'll do is I'll look ahead, I'll look next week and I go, okay, you know what, next Tuesday night I have nothing going on, I'm going to come home, I'm going to buy something at a restaurant and bring it home, and then I'm going to work on that.
Schedule time for yourself.
You make a place for it and you honor that place for it. And that's one of the best ways to do it. Yeah, absolutely. You have a plushie making business?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I have business cards if anybody wants them.
I have something to talk to you about right after this panel. Oh no, it's not the dark plushie. But that is a good idea. Question. Somebody? Question?
Of all the things you've done, what do you think is your most favorite? Or what do you look forward to doing?
All of them. I could never... people have asked me before, you know, why don't you just focus on, like, usually parents or family members who think they kind of know best what you should do, you know, like they really care about you, but they think they have a good idea how you should handle certain things. You know how family members are. And they'll say, you know what, you ought to just focus on the music stuff and quit messing around with all the other stuff. Well, there's only one problem. I love all that other stuff. I love it. And I'm not going to let it go. I would never just voice act in favor, you know, and give up writing music or doing video or doing film or doing any other thing. I couldn't do that because all of those things kind of make you who you are. Jan is an amazingly well-rounded person because of all of, you know, because of all of the different influences, all of the trades that she's mastered. And I love every single thing I do. I could never focus on one and let the others go by. Even if it means that I will never become a famous singer because I refuse to sell everything I have and move to Nashville to try to be a singer. Even if it means I will never become a famous actor because I refuse to sell everything and move to LA and try to wait tables and try to become an actor. I don't care about that. I love doing what I do. And if it means doing it at a lower level to get to do all the different things we love to do, then I'm fine with that.